Hello, guys and gals, and welcome. So today I wanted to talk about another feature, one that didn't make it into my 8 features that needed to be included into Diablo 2 Resurrected. In fact, one of my 8 features didn't even make it into that video. That was the item durability revamp, which I actually had to put into the comments. This is one that I wanted to do an individual video on. That's why I didn't make it into that particular video. The Guild Hall is something that was originally planned to have been released in Diablo 2 Diablo 2, not Diablo 2 Resurrected. I get used to saying that so much that sometimes I forget. Um, the Guild Hall is a very interesting thing, a thing that actually existed. It was in planning for a very long time, and apparently it got scrapped at the last minute due to budget concerns and things like that. This is the only known image of the Diablo 2 Guild Hall. As you can see here, there's some type of pillar over on the left-hand side. We obviously have a chest. Seems to be and obviously a hall type area where you could gather. A nice little fireplace right here. Who knows what else is in this particular zone? There are also some other screenshots that are provided here. We have what seems to be a guild hall chest. So this is the like what the chest would have looked like in the guild hall. And do remember that the original chest for Diablo 2 Classic was extremely tiny. Was very, 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 very tiny. It was one of those absolutely insignificantly small chests. And so the Guild Hall chest kind of mirrors that. And this was all during the original classic game before they expanded the chest, before all the rune words were added, and all those other things. There was also apparently a customizable banner specifically for, obviously, for the Guild Hall, and you would go through the process of choosing a color palette along with several flag designs, specifically for your guild. So as you can see, you could do like the antelopes or the dragon, and you could do like a red, and you could do various colors and stuff like that to make the banner your own. And it's all very interesting, and I'd like to go over the details of it. The article that I'm looking at will be linked down in the description if you'd like to take a look at it. But as you can see up here at the top, it says that this is another page rescued from the Diablo2.net archives. So this is not even the original page. This is a duplication of the page from the Diablo2.net, which apparently no longer exists. As you can see here, it says this one was written prior to Diablo 2's release in 2000 when guild halls were still a planned feature. They were worked on by the Diablo 2 team, and they even released a screenshot for them and included some artwork on the CD. But the time constraints kept them from being developed into a functional state. Now, what I'd like to emphasize with this, and I think this is really important, is that we have gone over a lot of information. We've gone over special behind the scenes with Rob Gallerani. We've looked at what the developers are planning, and everything that it seems like they have been doing has been something that was planned before. That was in the works but never got finished. They did this game archaeology, so to speak, and this is just one of those really amazing kind of game archaeology moments where we can go back and we can go like, look at this really awesome feature that they could make reality that never quite got finished. And so let's go over it together and let's talk about it. So first we'll read the article, and then we'll kind of, we'll talk about the options here. So likely to be a major part of Blizzard's efforts to improve the guild support on Battle.net for Diablo 2, guild halls were likely to be very popular addition to Diablo 2. Unfortunately, they were not finished in time to be included in Diablo 2. Blizzard announced this March 24th, 2000. And their actual quote on it is as follows. Guild halls will not be in the beta, nor in the final shipping version of Diablo 2. During development, it became clear that making guilds bulletproof, balanced, and completely secure would delay shipping. Diablo 2. Fundamental major changes to the Diablo 2 Battle.net client server architecture would be required. Testing and all important balancing would make our fans wait even longer. In the interest of getting the game to our fans, we had to decide to drop guilds. Rest assured that we are exploring ways of adding guilds after Diablo 2 ships. Now, as we know, this never happened. Diablo 2 shipped. Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction came out. Eventually, Blizzard North died, and with it, any chance that the guilds would ever be added. Diablo 2 Resurrected is the first chance that the developers could potentially fix this stuff and add the guilds for us. Guilds are not going to be added in any patch since, as Blizzard says, they need to be extensively tested and balanced and would require fundamental major changes to Battle.net and Diablo 2. However, hopes for them being included in the future Diablo 2 expansion pack were high. Unfortunately, as confirmed at this year's ECTS, they will not be included because the programming involved would severely push back the release of the expansion pack. The scale of such a feature would warrant a pack in its own right, although such a pack has not been mentioned by Blizzard. We have 3 new images of guild halls with the full info in caption of each shot. The one guild hall screenshot seen to the right, it was released by Blizzard in November 1999, not long before the D2 beta began. If you click for more information about guild halls, first-hand info on seeing them ourselves during our visit to Blizzard North offices in December 1999, you were in luck. Click right here for the very detailed report on them from our huge write-up of our visit. There is as much info there as on this page, so it's impossible to just paste it in here in quotations. For the new shots, they are all exclusive and have never been displayed before anywhere, thanks to Lanth for his assistance in obtaining them. So the new images, Guild Trophy Case. The Guild Trophy Case, a place to show off your best items with space for text descriptions as well. Unknown exactly how this would be accessed from a guild hall. Click here to view the mock-up of it inserted into a normal screenshot. The Guild Chevron selection page, probably the most interesting of the 3 new images. This one shows all of the guild icons and colors you would have had to pick from to represent your guild on Battle.net. And of course, there is a mock-up page of it also. An interesting page since the image doesn't fit properly. You know what's kind of interesting about this image, the guild chevron image? Doesn't that look really freaking similar to the Diablo 3 flag choices? In Diablo 3, there's the ability to choose like the flag that goes on your character. It almost seems like for Diablo 3, they actually stole this idea and brought it into Diablo 3. Some of these even look familiar to the options that I've seen in Diablo 3's flag system. In fact, you know what? Let's, just for lulz, really quickly, let's open up a window here. Diablo 3 flags. Let's see here. They're called sigils or banners, apparently. And I'm looking at the banner sigils. So I have a big old mock-up here of all the banner sigils. There's scorpions. I'm trying to see if there's anything specifically that looks similar to the ones that were in Diablo 2. And I am seeing a couple. But there definitely are a whole lot more options in the Diablo 3 than there were in Diablo 2. So it does seem as though they've expanded it. They've expanded. All right, not that big of a deal. All right, so moving on, we've got general information. Let me see here. The text on this page below the images is an updated version of how this page was pre-beta, since that's when the last official word on guild halls came, before the announcement that they were out was made. So the features listed here may and probably will be changed when and if they are actually guild halls in a released product, but this is the most recent info available. It was thought that the guild halls would be largely finalized during the beta as various styles and ideas were tried out and approved or rejected, based partially on player feedback. This may still be the case, depending on how extensive any Diablo 2 X-Pack beta test is. However, with more time to think about them, Blizzard North might have them all worked out and wouldn't need to do any public testing before they included them in the game. General information. Here's a quick rundown of some of the most important guild hall features as they were last described. Guild halls are free, and any character can found one as soon as they have completed the game once. Guild halls are only available on Battle.net, and with a guild hall comes the right to pick a name and a three-letter abbreviation to appear after all members' names, a two-color scheme, and a chevron, an icon or symbol to represent your guild. The security for Guild Hall is absolute. Before anyone can enter, they must be added to the guild by the guild master. A simple point, select option, and click procedure that is done from the Battle.net chat. Guild halls start small, just a single room with a grassy area outside to frolic in, but as you add money to the Steeg Stone, a form of treasury, they get bigger and more features are added. See a low-level guild hall here. Of course, we can't really click on that. There is no set limit on the number of members allowed in a guild hall, but it will be a large number, as many as 100 or more, possibly. Guild halls are one of the Diablo 2's promised enhancements to multiplayer, specifically adding a feature primarily for popular player creative guilds and clans, assured to cost a hefty sum either to buy or upgrade. Guild halls will serve as a permanent private meeting place with potentially secure storage areas for a large number of clan members and open area to meet, chat, and trade items. Purchase and creation. The projected system for the guild hall was rather a theocracy. There was one character, the guild master, set up as the leader. It was never decided for sure if this title would be transferable or if there would be any sort of democracy where members could boot an existing guild master if need be. Initially, Blizzard North had planned to require a large amount of gold to create a guild, but they announced early in 2000 that this was changed and that guild halls would be much more attainable, where you could found one as soon as you finished the game one time. It would have been easy to do. Just select it as an option in the Create Game menu accessed from Battle.net chat. There would have been a Guild Hall option, and you could have selected it like a game join or create. The plan was that a character could only belong to one guild at a time, so it was assumed that if creating, your character would get some sort of pop-up yes-no option about leaving their other guild. It is not known what would become of any possessions stored in the old guild hall, if they would be forfeit, vanish forever, or appear in the new guild hall. At the time of creation, the guild master must set a name for the guild, which almost certainly be unique, first come, first served, and can also set the guild tag, the 3 or fewer characters, letter, bracketed abbreviation, that would appear after all guild members' names. It is not known if these will be unique, but 3 letters, 26 by 26 by 26, 17576 possible combinations, quite a few, but with tens or hundreds of thousands of accounts on each Battle.net server and millions of characters, very shortly any new guild would be limited to tags like QVY, and that's no fun. In addition to the guild tag, the guild's insignia was going to be an option, a heraldic pattern picked from a large list, and the guild's 2-color scheme can be set as well. There was talk from Blizzard North about having ranks within a guild, so-called guild lieutenants, guild members with more authority and power than the regular guild members, but less than the guild master. There was also going to be a way for members to vote out a corrupt leader, and there certainly needs to be a way to pass down the guild master mantle to another member. However, nothing new was heard on these topics pre-guild hall removal. Security and access. To enter the guild hall, you will select guild halls from the game selection menu and pick create or join, and if join, you will then type the name of your guild. If you have typed the name of a real guild hall, the Battle.net server will check to see if your unique character ID is on the approved list for the guild hall. If so, you will appear inside the guild hall tile set, just like you were joining a regular game of Diablo. As far as we know, who is allowed in is totally up to the discretion of the guild master. He can add names at any time and possibly remove them, though we have not heard much about how kicking out bad members will be handled. Other features. There has been one image of the guild hall yet release, and you can see it above. The shot is a lower level guild hall, but not the beginning model, since that one is a single room without even a chest in it. As you add more money to the guild hall, Steeg Stone, new features appear. The first upgrade was estimated to be about 35,000 gold, and it was not known what this would add, but it would have been most likely a public storage chest. This figure is also suspect, as it was well before the final game balancing. And as we know, in Diablo 2, now 35k is not very much money at all, with most characters having well over 100,000 by Act 4 and able to make a lot more than that very quickly if they so desired. Higher level upgrades were set to add size to the hall and other cool features such as changing tile sets, an in-guild bulletin board, and possibly even direct access to the guild hall from a game. Upgrades were said to cost more money, but no figures were ever given. The money management would be up to the guild master, as only he would have access to the treasury, and also only he could have clicked on the Steeg Stone to see how much gold there was, and how much was needed for the next level. Keep in mind that all these features were projected and may have changed. One much requested feature that will never occur is a way to duel or spar in the guild hall. This is mostly a technical issue since guild halls allow such a large number of members. The server and all the players' computers have a lot to deal with, and if they were fighting and spellcasting on top of just standing around talking, it would be too much for most computers to keep up with and would severely hurt the frame rate for everyone. One nice unexpected feature is a large outdoor area around the guild hall to play in. When you join a guild hall game, you appear in a cul-de-sac shaped area and must run to the right for a few seconds to reach the guild hall. The outdoor space is in the style of Act 1 Wilderness in the first levels of guild hall, but it is unknown if later levels will incorporate Act 2 or Act 3 or other tile sets instead. Unresolved issues. Since many things are not yet or known or determined about guild halls, we've listed some of the top questions about them here. What if the guild master removes a character from the access list? Is that character out with no recourse? What about the items in their chest? Can the guild master access the stored chest of each member? What sort of recourse will players have to deal with? A bad or unresponsive guild master? There have been mentions of limited forms of democracy, but how exactly will these work? Must you finish the game to be allowed to join a guild hall, or just to found one? So as you can see, a lot of information here, and it's not like this is an idea that was not fleshed out. You have to imagine that obviously, since Rob Gallerani and stuff have had access to the original servers and stuff that Blizzard North was using when they had, when they were developing this game, they had to have come across this. And they probably have more information than we do. You have to imagine that this information here that we have right now is pretty darn detailed for something that was not actually like internal information. Like, this wasn't a guy that was inside of Blizzard North headquarters feeding us information. This is like stuff that that Blizzard North gave to the press, that people were able to conjure up, that from interviews and things like that, which means that on Rob Gallerani's side, this guild hall is probably much more fleshed out. They have files. They probably have data on the programming that's required, how things needed to be changed within the BattleNet architecture. They probably researched this idea extensively, especially when you consider the fact that they had, gold costs set. They had the name of the pillar, the Steeg Stone. They had different levels of the guild hall, different sizes. It would upgrade as you put more gold into it, and all sorts of other really cool things. And I just think that this is just one feature that they could add to Diablo 2, which would make a huge change. Because you have to imagine that if you could make guilds, all of a sudden a lot more really cool stuff starts to appear. You're going to have people who are making, really awesome clans and guilds, and they're going to be having fun together, and they're going to be magic finding together, and it paves the way for more interesting things later on. If they should add some more content, it would allow people to gather together more easily, share items more easily, share gold more easily. Just in general, give them a gathering place where they can kind of hang out and talk to each other. I mean, granted, you can do that in Discord, but you can't share items in Discord. You can post items and be like, hey, do you want to meet up in such and such game? But like, if we had a guild chest where I could like log into the guild hall, put my items in the guild chest, and just be like, hey, I threw a bunch of items in the guild chest. If anybody needs them, feel free to take them. That is really cool. Also, they said here that you couldn't PvP there, but you know what I think? I think that's silly. They're talking about like computer limitations back in like 1999, 2000. There's no computer limitations anymore. I have no, I don't see why they couldn't have sparring in the guild hall. I mean, that would be really cool, especially since, according to this, there's a giant area outside the guild hall that we could basically PvP in. So that is really interesting. Um, they talked about like lieutenants and like like different ranks within the guild, which are definitely pretty cool. And then also obviously here the bracketed clan tags, which is something that we've already done. If you've been watching any of my live streams, you know that everybody that joins Kinship GGM has to put the GGM tags on their characters to signify that they are in the clan. All of these things are built into here, and quite honestly, this is really cool. And I would really love to see the guild system get added into Diablo 2 Resurrected. I really just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention. Maybe some of you guys are completely unaware that the guild system was a thing and actually was planned to be added into the game. Or maybe you already knew and you forgot, or maybe you know and you really want it. Put down in the comments what you think about the guild hall, whether you'd like to see the guild hall get added to Diablo 2 Resurrected or not. I think it would make an excellent addition to Diablo 2 Resurrected, and I think it would bring a freshness to Diablo 2 Resurrected, which would really create a lot of clans, guilds, or whatever you want to call them in Diablo 2 that would create a lot of fun. Guilds are very fun. It is one thing to play by yourself. It is one thing to play online, and it is a whole other thing to play in a guild, a kinship of people that help each other out on a regular basis and go out of their way to to support each other. And that's one of the things that we've done this ladder is we really work together as a kinship to make things go faster. And many people have come to me and said, hey, this is like the most fun I've had in such a long time, because guilds are very fun. They really are. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when it's me talking for 20 minutes on the guild hall for Diablo 2 Resurrected. And keep watching.